So, well, I think that, you've been through just something so extraordinary in the last few months that none of us can hardly imagine what it must have been like.
No, cannot.
And
I promise.
so what I want to know is, tell me about the moment when you first realized there was this slow-moving car crash was happening with the North Koreans have hacked Sony, and they're letting out, first of all, they're sabotaging the whole system, and people are finding sort of skull and crossbones on their computers, and then it's all shutting down, and you think everything is going haywire. But then there was this awful personal moment when you realized that they were about to dump all your personal emails out onto the internet.
That was a
Tell
good moment.
Tell me what you went through at that time.
Well, first of all, I ran this company, and I had to worry about everybody who was really scared. So people were really scared. All of their Social Security was out there. People worried about their passports. People were worried about all kinds of things. But nagging in the back of my mind, and I kept calling, going, they don't have our emails, right? Tell me they don't have our emails. No. Well, then they did. That was a bad moment. Because, what you write in emails is many of the emails that I wrote between my friend Scott Rudin and myself were, we've been friends for 30 years. We've been having an ongoing fight since the moment we met. And there's no way that you can ever explain the way that you talk with someone where you just sort of go into meta conversations and sarcasm and role-playing. And anytime I even thought I'd even try to explain that to anybody, it would just dig a worse hole.
How did you move to kind of protect what could you do? There was nothing you really could do.
Well, here's the thing. As a woman, I figured that what I did was control how everybody felt about themselves and about me. That's how I did my job. And that's kind of the way that a lot of us act as leaders. And so there was this horrible moment where I realized there was absolutely nothing at all that I could do about whether I'd hurt people, whether I'd betrayed people, whether I'd said things that I didn't mean. I couldn't protect anyone, not their feelings, not what they thought of me. And it was horrible because that's how I figured I did my job for all of my life. And it was also strangely freeing because all of a sudden it was just what it was. And so maybe that wasn't the way I did my job. Maybe controlling the way everybody feels about themselves and the way they feel about me isn't what I was doing. Maybe I thought that's what I was doing, but it wasn't. And there's something really interesting about that.
And how about repairing some of the relationships, that have been damaged in a sense by the emails? Or did people understand this was just
the first person I talked to was Angie after that email. I mean, yes, everybody understood because we all live in this weird thing together called Hollywood. If we all actually were nice, it wouldn't work.
So what is your explanation? I mean, you're the head of the studio. These actresses are getting paid less. They don't realize they're getting paid less than the men.
Okay, so here's the problem.
Explain.
I run a business. People want to work for less money. I'll pay them less money. I don't call them up and go, can I give you some more? Because that's not what you do when you run a business. The truth is that what women have to do is not work for less money. They have to walk away. People shouldn't be so grateful for jobs. I shouldn't be grateful. None of you should be grateful. They shouldn't be grateful. People should know what they're worth and say no. And they will.
That's great.
I think that the most important thing that we can do in our business is make movies with female protagonists and movies with female villains and movies where women are, the plot of the movie is about them, where actually their actions have consequences in the story. Because the worst thing that you can do is just be on the sidelines. The worst thing you can do is your character, it doesn't matter what you do, the story goes on exactly as it is. And I think that there is a subliminal message for everyone when women, good or bad, move the plot.